Today, we're diving into the mind of Hara, a Japanese designer with a pretty wild idea. He thinks that great design isn't really about creating beautiful objects at all. Instead, it's about waking up our senses. So let's get into it and explore how Hara wants to change not just what we see, but how we see.
First up, let me ask you something. Just take a second and think about it. What's the single best designed object you own? You know, the one you use all the time. Is it your phone, maybe? Or a really well-balanced kitchen knife? How about that one chair that's just perfect? Go on, get something in your head.
Okay, you got one? Now, what if the best designed thing in your life is actually something you never ever think about? What if it's so good, so perfectly integrated into your world that it's basically invisible? That idea right there is the key to his entire philosophy, and it all starts with one powerful concept.
To really get what Hara's talking about, we can't start with things. We have to start with the opposite, emptiness. Now, I know what that sounds like. A void, nothingness, right? But for Hara, emptiness is actually where all the creative magic begins.
See, in Hara's world, emptiness isn't passive. It's an active invitation. Think of a blank sheet of paper or a stage right before a play starts. That space isn't telling you what to do. It's welcoming you to fill it with your ideas, your needs, your actions. It's basically a container for pure potential. Now, it's super easy to hear emptiness and have your brain immediately jump to minimalism, but they're really not the same thing. Minimalism is all about subtracting, stripping things away. Emptiness, though, that's about creating a state of receptivity. The goal isn't just to make something simple, it's to create a quiet platform where communication can actually happen. For Hara, a brilliantly designed object doesn't scream, "Hey, look at me." It kind of steps back and lets this natural, intuitive interaction happen between you and it. It's more of a quiet conversation than a loud speech, and getting that conversation right requires another one of his big ideas. And that brings us to this concept he calls exformation. It sounds a little weird, but it's simple. If information is all the stuff we know, exformation is the art of knowing how little we actually need to know to get something instantly. It's about designing understanding itself. All right, just take a look at this. Are your eyes starting to glaze over? Synergistic affordance integration. What does that even mean? This right here is what happens when we're drowning in too much information. It's dense, it's confusing, and honestly, it just gets in the way. It's a total barrier. And this is the antidote. Exformation is the skill of slicing through all that noise. It means you know a subject so well, you can present it with such perfect clarity that the person on the other end just gets it. Because true simplicity isn't actually simple at all. It's just complexity that's been completely and utterly conquered. So, okay, these are some cool ideas. Emptiness, exformation, but what do they look like in the real world? Well, one of Hara's most famous projects is called Redesign, and it's all about taking things we know and making them feel totally new again. The process itself sounds almost too simple. You take something totally mundane, something you never think about, like a tea bag. Then you question everything about it. Why is it shaped like that? What does it feel like? And then you just reimagine it. And here's the key. The goal isn't to make a better tea bag. The goal is to create something that wakes up a new feeling, to make you stop and really experience it, as if for the very first time. The point here isn't to reinvent the wheel. It's to give our senses a little jolt, to shock us out of our daily autopilot. Because when you see something you know so well in a way you've never seen it before, it forces you to rethink your relationship with it. And that little shift in perception can change how you see everything else, too. So when you put all the pieces together, you start to see the bigger picture. You start with emptiness, right? That creates the potential. Then you use exformation to communicate with total clarity in that space. And you use redesign to wake up our senses to the whole thing. It's not just a set of rules anymore. It becomes a whole philosophy for shifting from just looking at the world to actually truly seeing it. And you know, this quote from Hara himself just nails it. Design isn't about wowing people with flashy new shapes or materials. He sees it as this quiet, almost humble act of making our lives a little more balanced, a little more harmonious. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? For Kenya Hara, design isn't just about making things look good. It's a deep form of communication. Emptiness invites us into that conversation. Exformation makes sure the message is crystal clear. And together, they show us that real innovation isn't about the next big thing. It's about finding a new way to see the things we look at every single day. And that kind of leaves us with one final question for you. Now that you've heard about this idea of making the known unknown, just look around. Your coffee mug, the doorknob, the street you walk on. What's one thing in your world that you could try to see with fresh eyes tomorrow?